What's up, everybody? This is Rockwell Silas, and I want to do this short video just to kind of help people out who may have talent to produce or play an instrument or, engineer audio, that sort of stuff, but really don't have the funds to get the gear that they need to do what they want to. And I do an awful lot of do-it-yourself stuff for myself, and I figured, I could help somebody out by kind of showing them, some of the things I did to get the results I wanted. And yesterday, I actually went and I made a Subkick, which is this thing here, which is essentially a small woofer that the polarity is reversed, and it acts as a microphone, so to speak. And it catches just the lower frequencies whenever, you kick your bass drum, and that resonance moves the resonance side head. The mic picks it up. So it's good for lots of low-end complementing the low end that your kick drum mic may not pick up or may miss if you have something a little cheaper, which is this. I mean, this is the digital reference, the DRK 100, which is decent. I mean, it's decent. It ain't a Shure or anything like that, but it gets the job done. So unless you have a nicer mic or some really nice preamps for your interface, this is a really cool and cheap way to get some studio quality results for not a whole lot of money. And all you'll need is the speaker itself, which can come from some old studio monitors. I actually got this one out of a home studio or a home theater rather sub, powered sub that I wasn't using. Just kind of took it out of there. You'll need a XLR cable, which is, if you absolutely don't know what that is, that's these sort of cables, with the three prongs there, or the three plugs there, the plugs into the mic. You'll probably need some scissors or cable cutters, and if you can do it, a soldering iron. And all you really want to do is, if you cut the end of one of the ends of your microphone cable, your XLR cable, you're going to end up with something like this. You cut it and pull that part off, and you're going to have this kind of fray stuff here. And if you move, hold on a second, I'm going to move this out of the way. If you move all this out of the way, look, it works a whole lot better. Move all this crap out of the way, you're left here with two cables here. On the one I have here, we got a white and a blue. Now, with this sort of stuff, positive and negative, in my experience, really doesn't mean a whole lot. Meaning, what you'll probably end up doing is just kind of testing what works. Because let's see if I can get the angle here. I switched these around a few times, and this is the positive, this is the negative. So I had the white cable here and the blue here, and I still got a feed from my mixer. And I switched it around, I still got a feed to my mixer. So what you'll want to do is just kind of figure out what's the best sound that you get from the actual cone here by just kind of touching them together. Don't solder it yet once you're testing it. Just kind of touch them together, twist them on there together, and just kind of tapping the speaker here. And whichever way sounds the best, that's what you want to do. Now, what I did, and the internet's going to tell you different, what I did was they'll tell you to cut this side, this side rather, off of the mic cable, because on just about every single microphone, you'll have all of them have the male 3-prong connection on the back of the microphone. So what they're trying to get you to do is pretty much make a single elongated cable with the soldered ends here going all the way to your mixer or your interface, which to me wouldn't have worked. So what I did was I cut the opposite side, which was this, and then I can take any other cable and just connect it to skadoosh, and then I can make it as long or as short as I want to, and not necessarily have to worry about moving this part around and moving that part around and everything like that. So once you get that, you want to connect it to something that's attenuated or has some sort of volume control on it, because it's going to be loud. And just kind of test it, make sure it works, and that's essentially it as far as connecting it. Now the hardest part is actually finding a mount to mount this thing. And what I did was, this is a kick drum mic stand, top of a kick drum mic stand, and this is the pivot arm from a condenser mic I wasn't using, that I just kind of screwed into one of the connector parts here that you solder your terminal to. It's just a little hole there, so I got the little wing nut, screwed it into that hole. And these zip ties are just for support. Since this is a thin piece of metal, I just did a zip tie here to one of the screw holes, zip, zip, and then one from here all the way around the base, and it just acts as a support. And this here is just the bottom of a snare stand, and then just a like an L clamp, I think these are called, or like accessory clamps, like for toms and that sort of stuff, and just kind of clamped it to the stand. And then my soldered mic cable, I just kind of ran through the inside of that to mount it. But yeah, that's essentially it. I think altogether this may, most folks who've been playing for a while, kind of have some of this stuff laying around like I did. You can get this speaker itself online for cheap, or if you got an old combo amp or reference monitor, you can use that. But I would recommend only using something that's around maybe 5 to 6.5 inches in cone size, because anything bigger, the human ear is not going to be able to pick up that frequency, so it's really not going to do you any good if you have like a 10 or a 15 trying to use it as a sub kick. So somewhere around the 5 to 6.5, maybe even an 8-inch, maybe, might be the best way to go. But that's it. Name's Rock Silas, and that was your DIY sub kick. Skadoosh.